Hello everybody, and welcome to my video about a Nook Color running the Android operating system. Currently a lot of Nook Color users who root their device look into getting one of the two very common Android operating systems on there. Two most common currently are Honeycomb and Gingerbread. Honeycomb is of course Android 3.0, a little bit newer. However, on a Nook Color, most people do state that Gingerbread is a little bit snappier and tends to run a little bit better on the Nook Color than Honeycomb. Honeycomb is pretty. I haven't really encountered anything yet on the Nook Color that really shows that Gingerbread is weaker than Honeycomb. So I've got a cyanogen mod on mine. That's basically a Gingerbread version. Initially, when I got it, it came with Fire mod on there, and then I went over to CM7, which is pretty much what I've got on my phone that's currently filming this. Now, as you can see here, I have this particular Nook Color in a case. The case is a generic version of a name brand called a Roo case. The Roo case is the name brand of this, and this is a knockoff of it, but it's holding up really well. It adds a little bit of heft to the Nook Color, and basically it's designed as a stand where you take it, as you can see here, it's got a kickstand in the back, and you prop it up. Now the stand is of course designed for the Nook, really being in its e-reader mode. If you were watching videos on this, the Nook would be on its side like this, so that you can get the full screen effect of it. I've also got a special pen over here for this particular device that works with any touchscreen device. So this could work on a Droid phone, it could work on an iPad or an iTouch. It's a pretty solid phone. One of the better reviewed ones on Amazon. There was one that was a little bit cheaper, but didn't get as good of a write-up, and you can see the name brand over here, which is A-Case. It's a good pen. I like it. It's not that precise for, say, a drawing application or handwriting, but it's pretty good for other things like browsing the web or just flicking through the home screens and launching your applications. Now I'll start up the Nook Color and show you the graphics that this are capable of. I have a game preloaded here. It's called Galaxy on Fire 2. And just want to go through what the graphics look like. As it loads up here, you'll be able to see exactly what this device is capable of. Now, while it's loading, you may be wondering, what is the point of having a Nook Color running the Android operating system? There are pros and cons to this, and the cons are quite large. One of which is you are getting basically a 7-inch Android tablet for the price of an e-reader. Nook Color was designed by Barnes & Noble to basically compete with the Amazon Kindle, and it sort of set a trend in being easy to root and take over to Android mode. And now, of course, the Amazon is coming out with Kindle Fire, which is kind of their answer to this, which was the answer to the regular Kindle. And go ahead and step out of the spaceport over here. And you can briefly see some of the graphics that this device are capable of. Now, there are some shortcomings to having a Nook running as a tablet, and I'll be getting to those as soon as we get out of Galaxy on Fire 2 over here. As you can see from these graphics, I mean, this basically looks so much like Free Space and Star Lancer on the PC. I mean, it's just fantastic what this thing is capable of. I mean, you're getting a tablet for the price of an e-reader. So we'll go ahead and exit out of Galaxy on Fire. Okay. Here is my home screen here in my Nook Color. It's running a glass widget over here for the news, calendar, time. I've got set CPU up there, and as you might be able to see, it's overclocked to 1100. A lot of people on XDA developers will take their Nook up to a 1300 overclock, and the default is 800. I take mine only up to 11. This is ADW Launcher that is controlling the home screens over here. This is my application related screen. This is my main, and this is my gaming one. This is blank. Now the features of a Nook Color, if you look down here at the bottom, this is sort of like your taskbar in Windows. The reason why this is here in a Nook Color, and you will also see this on Android running on an HP touchpad, is because the Nook only has one hardware button. And that's the Nook N over here. Most Droid operating systems, unfortunately, are on devices, phones, tablets, where there are a number of hard keys. These are keys that do not take up screen real estate, and they're set by the device for doing back, menu, home, and search. Well, because the Nook does not have these hard keys, it has to software emulate them, and it's called soft keys. That's what we have down here. We have home, menu, back, search, a quick button that pops up the taskbar, and over here is Advanced Task Killer, and any other running applications will appear down here all the way over to the Wi-Fi symbol, the battery power, and the clock. We'll go into settings, and you can see this is your typical Droid settings over here. You've got Cyanogen mode settings, you've got ADW Launcher, which is controlling the desktops. If we scroll down to about the tablet, you can see that it's Android 2.3.5, a 2.6 kernel, model number showing as a Nook Color. Right here are some of the games that I really enjoy running on this. Gun Brothers is a complete addiction. Really cannot escape that particular game. Radiant I played on my phone and had to get for the Nook Color. SNESnoid is a Super Nintendo emulator. Star Legends is sort of like World of Warcraft in space. Order and Chaos is basically World of Warcraft mobile. Earth and Legends, probably going to get rid of that. It's not that enjoyable. And Tropical Fish Shop is basically a Bejeweled clone. Now, something I want to highlight over here is the taskbar that we're talking about, the soft keys. This is a trial by fire when it comes to the taskbar over here. There are some applications and games where having the taskbar up is a bad thing. And basically, I'll give you an example over here. We'll go ahead and launch Gun Brothers. You'll notice down here on the taskbar, get the double chevrons. If I hit it, it makes the taskbar go away. That's a good thing in Gun Brothers, because if the taskbar was up, it would be overlaid on top of my health, and I wouldn't know how close to death I was. Other applications, you want to keep the taskbar running. And the reason being is you have no way of navigating around the application without the taskbar. The good thing is it will always come back up after you close it. So I'll give an example over here. The Super Nintendo emulator, if we launch that, if I were to minimize the taskbar over here, I would not be able to get access to any of the commands while I was running a particular Super Nintendo ROM. Like here, I've loaded Final Fantasy V. I need this taskbar to load my last save. And there's Final Fantasy V translated from Japanese into English. Now if I had the taskbar missing, and I wanted to save my ROM state, I'd have no way of being able to get to it. Or if I wanted to back out and be done with Final Fantasy V, I would have no way of closing out and getting back to the ROM selection. So it's always hit or miss. I'll quickly go through some applications I believe every Nook Color user running Android should have. One-tap clean cache, you definitely want this as it cleans up temp files that games and applications create. I definitely recommend Advanced Task Killer. It's been a little controversial when it comes to running on a Droid phone. However, on a phone which tends to manage itself better, you really do need it on a Nook, because there are a lot of times where you hide the taskbar. When you close out of an application by hitting the Nook N, it's still running. So in order to reclaim your memory, you do need to hit Advanced Task Killer to close the application or game out. Applicator over there and Aptoid are alternative markets for getting applications, games, books, the like, for free, or getting things that you cannot install on the market, because remember, the Nook Color is not actually a Droid tablet. So there are times where certain games and applications will go, I don't recognize your device, I won't install. Well, on the market you can't force it to do that, but you can on things like Aptoid and Black Market Alpha. Beautiful widgets is pretty handy. Makes nice little widgets on your desktop screens. Astro is a definite must-have. This is a file manager like Windows Explorer. A lot of these here are standard camera. You can uninstall. There is no camera on a Nook Color. Chainfire 3D over here. You absolutely have to get that if you do plan on playing some pretty good games on a Nook Color. Let's see. Crackle is sort of like Netflix. It has movies, it has TV shows, anime, stuff like that. It is free, but if you sign up for an account, you actually get considerably less commercials and everything. Dolphin Browser is probably the best Droid browser that I've come across. We've got things like the eBay app, Facebook app. As you can see, it's got Flash, which is really good. G4 app, Galaxy on Fire 2, Gun Brothers, Market. Messaging, we'll get to that. It can actually be uninstalled if you wanted to. Netflix, Nook Tweaks, you definitely have to get that if you're a Nook Color user running Android. It does a lot of really great things like bump up the speakers on the Nook Color, because the speakers are kind of crap. Notification restart, you do want to get that because sometimes the taskbar crashes. That brings it back up. Set CPU allows you to overclock your Nook, which you definitely want to do. You'll see Super User over here. You need to get that so that root level applications can get root. And you can see some other things here like Trillion and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed this tour of a Nook Color running the Android operating system, this one in particular, Gingerbread. Thanks a lot.